Welcome back, everybody, to the deep dive. Ready for another one? This time we're really going deep, exploring Mark Douglas and his work on, well, on what he calls building a probabilistic mindset for trading. And, this could be a tough nut to crack. So, I thought we'd have someone who really knows their stuff join us today to help break it down.
I'm happy to be here. Yeah, Douglas, he really gets into the psychology of trading. He has this exercise that he talks about. It's wild. It's all about rewiring how we think about trading.
Rewiring, like literally. Okay, I'm intrigued.
He starts by getting at this basic human thing. Our brains, they just love to find patterns. It's like built in.
Yeah, totally. Like when you hear a certain song and it, boom, takes you back to a specific memory.
Exactly. It's our brain making connections, associating things. And in trading, this can be, well, it can be tricky.
Tricky how?
Well, it can lead us to making decisions based on emotions, like past wins or losses, instead of what's actually happening in the market right now. We might think, hey, this setup worked before, so it should work again. But the thing is, every moment in the market is unique.
Kind of like every snowflake, right?
Exactly. The market is a whirlwind of factors, always shifting, which makes each moment one of a kind, just like a snowflake.
Okay, so how do we break free from that pattern-seeking instinct, especially in something as, well, as unpredictable as the market?
Douglas suggests that, and this is a big one, even with a good strategy, trading outcomes are essentially random.
Wait, random. Even if I have a solid trading plan, how can that be?
Well, that's where the concept of an edge comes in. Your edge is your trading methodology, right? It's your rules for entry and exit, a good edge. Well, it improves your probability of success over many trades, but it doesn't guarantee you'll win every single one.
Oh, I see. I see. So it's like a casino, right?
Exactly. Think of it like this. The house doesn't win every hand, but over time, the odds are in their favor.
That makes sense. But I think a lot of traders, myself included, fall into the trap of, after a win, you feel like I'm a winner, and then after a loss, it's I'm a loser.
Yeah, I get that. And that's where we can get tripped up. We start to attach our identity to the outcome of, well, of something that's essentially a random event. And that can really mess with our heads.
So what does Douglas suggest we do about it?
He says we need to detach from those individual outcomes, and instead start thinking in probabilities.
Okay, that's where the whole rewiring thing comes in, right? Tell me more about this exercise. How does it work?
It's all about shifting your focus. Instead of trying to predict the market, which is impossible, you focus on mastering the process of trading. There are 5 steps.
5 steps to rewire my brain for trading. Okay, lay it on me.
First, you need absolute clarity of intent. What is your goal? I mean, it's probably consistent profitability over time, right? But Douglas says don't fixate on that outcome directly.
Okay, so what should I be focusing on then?
Focus on the process, on becoming a master of executing your strategy perfectly, flawlessly. And that brings us to step 2, defining your edge. This means setting a rigid set of rules, your entry and exit points, with absolutely no room for you to change your mind based on how you feel.
Sounds like it's all about taking emotion out of the equation. No more second guessing.
Exactly. You're committing to the plan ahead of time. And that leads us to step 3, fixed risk and profit. You decide upfront how much money you're willing to risk on each trade, and you set a predetermined profit target.
I'm seeing how this builds discipline. What's next?
This is where the real commitment comes in step 4 is picking a sample size. Douglas recommends 20 trades. And here's the thing. You have to commit to taking every single trade that meets your criteria no matter what happens. You can't back out.
Even if I'm on a losing streak.
Yes. Even then, it's about pushing yourself outside your comfort zone. It's about creating experiences that contradict your usual way of thinking. Remember, we're rewiring those neural pathways.
So I'm facing the possibility of losses head on, which brings us to the 5th step.
Right. Step 5 is making sure the total risk for all 20 trades is something you can handle, both financially and emotionally. You can't be freaking out about the money on the line. It needs to be a level of risk that you're truly comfortable with.
This is fascinating, but it sounds intense. So I make those 20 trades, sticking to my plan like glue. What happens then?
That's where the real magic happens. That's when the learning begins. You reflect on the experience. Did you actually stick to your plan without letting your emotions get the best of you? Were you okay with the level of risk you took? You see, this exercise isn't just about making money. It's about building mental resilience, building discipline.
So it's about more than just the money.
Way more. It's about confronting our natural tendency to try and predict something that's unpredictable. By pushing through that discomfort, that possibility of losses, we start to accept the randomness that's just built into the market. We detach from the outcome of each trade, and focus on what we can control.
Which is,
Our process and our emotional responses, powerful stuff.
it sounds like it, like we're creating a whole new mental model, a new set of experiences to help us handle uncertainty.
That's a great way to put it. It's about rewiring our brains to think differently about risk, reward, the whole nature of trading itself.
Wow. This is pretty mind-blowing stuff. But I bet some people listening are thinking, okay, sounds great, but how do I actually do this?
That's a great question. And you know what? The key is to start small. Instead of, trying to change your whole trading approach overnight, just start by picking a simple, clear edge that you can test with a small amount of capital and focus on executing that plan perfectly. No emotions allowed.
It's all about building confidence in our ability to follow through, regardless of the outcome, right?
Yes, exactly. The more we practice that discipline, the more comfortable we become with the uncertainty of the market.
And I bet as we get comfortable with that uncertainty, well, then we can start trading with greater clarity, confidence, and ultimately greater success.
That's the power of probabilistic thinking that lets us embrace the unknown, see each trade as just one data point in a bigger picture.
This has been an incredible conversation. I feel like I've learned so much, not only about trading, but about myself and, the challenges we all face when things are uncertain.
Me too. It's been a fascinating look into how powerful our minds are and how important it is to develop that probabilistic mindset.
We've covered a lot today, but there's one more piece of this trading exercise I want to get to.
You're right. We talked about why we do it, what it is, and how to do it, but we haven't talked about when to stop.
That's a good point. Knowing when to stop is just as important as knowing when to start.
Absolutely. And the answer lies in understanding the real purpose of this exercise, which is to get to a point where you execute your trading plan perfectly, flawlessly.
So it's not about hitting a certain profit target or winning a certain percentage of trades.
Nope. Those things, they just happen naturally if you're executing consistently and with discipline.
So how do we know when we've reached that perfect execution? What are the signs?
The biggest sign is your ability to do the whole exercise, all 20 trades, without letting your emotions throw you off your plan, not even once.
No second guessing, no panic selling, no revenge trading.
Exactly. If you can handle each trade with the same objectivity and discipline, regardless of whether you win or lose, that's how you know you've achieved the goal of the exercise.
That sounds incredibly challenging, but incredibly rewarding too.
It is, and it's important to remember this is a journey, not a destination. It may take a few tries to get to that level of mastery.
So if I don't nail it the first time, I shouldn't beat myself up about it.
Not at all. It's actually really likely that you'll make mistakes along the way. That's totally normal.
Okay, good to know. It's all part of the learning process.
Exactly. Each mistake is a chance to learn, to figure out where your weaknesses are, and to get better next time.
So it's about seeing those mistakes as valuable feedback and using them to improve how we execute our trades.
That's it. And once you've reached that point where you can execute the whole exercise perfectly, that's when you can start thinking about tweaking your edge or maybe adjusting your risk management.
Right, we don't want to change things up in the middle of the experiment because that would mess up the results.
Exactly. It'd be like changing the rules of the game while you're still playing it.
This has been so insightful. I feel like I have a much deeper understanding of the power of this probabilistic thinking and how important it is to master our minds in trading and actually in life too.
I agree. It's been amazing, exploring trading psychology and the potential of this exercise. It's simple, but man, it's profound.
And I bet our listeners are eager to hear what final insights you have before we wrap up this deep dive.
Well, I'd say the most important thing to take away from all of this is this. Consistent success in anything, whether it's trading, business, even relationships, it all comes from understanding and embracing uncertainty.
It's about letting go of that idea that we can control everything and focusing on what we can control, our actions, reactions, and our mindset.
That's a great way to put it. By, surrendering to the unknown, we actually gain a greater sense of control and power.
It's like we're shifting from a fear-based mindset to a growth-based mindset, embracing the challenges and the opportunities that come with uncertainty.
Exactly. And when we do that, we open ourselves up to a world of possibilities in trading and in life.
This deep dive has been mind-blowing. Thank you so much for sharing your expertise in this powerful exercise with us.
It's been my pleasure. And remember, mastering our minds is a journey. There will be challenges, but also incredible rewards.
And be sure to tune in next time for another deep dive into the world of trading, psychology, and everything in between.
We can't wait to share more with you.
Until then, keep exploring.